Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the Goats and Unicorns YouTube channel. I know it's been a while, but I am fully set up in our new house. We moved across the country and we've got everything set up now, and I am looking forward to this video. What we're gonna be talking about is about how important it is to know your numbers when it comes to entrepreneurship, business, whether you're a salesperson, a marketer, really any person inside the business. If you are directly correlated to driving revenue, if you're a business owner, yes, you need to be driving revenue. Or if you're a salesperson or anybody else in the organization, if you are driving revenue, you absolutely have to know your numbers. So that's what we're gonna be diving into today after the intro. All right, so the first thing that I wanna talk to you guys about is my experience as a door-to-door salesman back when I was in college. I would go out every summer to these different places around the country and I would go knock on people's doors to sell them different products and services. I first started out doing it with pest control, then I eventually ended up doing alarm systems. And if there's one thing that I learned, it's how important it is to have numbers that you can track every single day, so that when you're setting your goals, that you know what you need to do on the inputs in order to get the output that you desire. So as an example, I knew when I first started out, when I was knocking these doors, okay, that for every 25 decision makers, these are homeowners who opened the door to me that I spoke with that could say yes or no. We call that a decision maker. That every time I talked to 25 of them, that I would get one sale, right? So then I also knew this was after getting a couple of baseline stats, right? About a month went by and I knew these numbers. And then I knew that for every 3 doors, I would end up talking to a decision maker. Okay, so 2 of those doors would be empty and then, or not home, they wouldn't answer. And one of them would be somebody I could talk to that had the ability to say yes or no on what I was selling. So then I broke down my total goal that I wanted to sell by the end of the summer, and that's kind of correlated to the money I wanted to make. And then I knew how long the summer was in between semesters of college. So this is simple math, guys. Business is often simple math and we overcomplicate it with all these different things. And so that's what I'm trying to explain to you guys here, is how simple it can be if you know your numbers. If you're not tracking any of this stuff, you need to start tracking it right away so that you can know exactly how to equate this backwards. It takes all the emotion out of it and it makes it very logical to be able to run your business and have success. So I knew that if I wanted to make 250 sales, right here, and I divided that by 96 days in the summer, that I needed to make 2.6 sales every single day, right? So you can round that up to 3, but just keep it at 2.6. Now, based off of the ratio of sales to decision makers, I knew that if I wanted to make 2.6 sales every single day, that I needed to talk to, or times the 25 decision makers, that I needed to talk to 65 decision makers every single day in order to hit my goal of 250 sales by the end of the summer. In order to talk to the 65 decision makers, I knew that based off of the ratio up here, that you multiply this by 3 and you get 195 doors a day. So this is what I knew at the very beginning of the summer, based off of the current talent level that I had, of what I needed to do in order to hit that 250 sales. Again, it takes all the emotion out of it so that you don't have to be out there just, miserable, trying to just make things happen without knowing very precisely what this is kind of called is the law of averages. So you say, on average, if I talk to 25 people, I'm gonna sell one of them. If I knock on 65 doors, that I'm gonna make the amount of sales that I need, so on and so forth, right? So it's called the law of averages. So I teach this to my students all the time when it comes to lead generation, marketing, and running a lead generation business, right? And so let's say, for example, that I had a goal of hitting $3,000 MRR, monthly recurring revenue, in a given month, okay? And I happen to know that for every 15 business owners that I talk to, I can close 1 deal, okay? So that, and then let's also say that I know that for every 30 offers that I make, that I'm going to have 1 business owner conversation, okay? So now we can also add in price point to the equation, okay? Which you can, back when I was doing door-to-door sale, yes, we sold them for like different priced contracts, but this makes a much more drastic difference in a business-to-business model versus a business-to-consumer model, like I was doing with the door-to-door, okay? So let's say my average price point is $500 a month. That means I would need 6 deals in order to hit my $3,000 MRR, right? So you take 3,000 MRR divided by 500 a month, that's 6 deals. And if I want to do that, that means I need to make 180 offers every single month. right? So that equates to, I think it's like 6 offers every day if you were to divide it by 30, right? Which if you're not working weekends, then you have to make more like 7 to 8 offers a day in order to hit those numbers, right? Now, if you were to just up your price to $1,000, double the price, right? Which still is not unrealistic when it comes to charging for marketing or lead generation services. But let's say you were able to get to $1,000 a month that you could charge them, then you would only need your 3 deals in order to hit your $3,000 monthly recurring revenue, right? So you see how that kind of adds in to the equation and makes a very big difference on whether you're going to hit your goals or not, right? So in that case, you would only need to make 90 offers a month, which is about, 3 to 4 offers every single day. This is why this is so cool. For anybody who has listened to Alex Hormozi, maybe you've studied some of Warren Buffett and some of those guys at Berkshire Hathaway, they know that the money game, the business game, is all about leverage, right? So the reason why it's so important to track your numbers is so that you know which levers you can pull to ultimately make more money, right? The first lever is the pricing lever, right? You saw in the last example here that just upping your prices to maybe something more along the lines of what you're worth, you can infinitely, hit your goals and not have to kill yourself every single day in order to make that happen. The next one is work ethic, right? So we know that the more people that we talk to, whether it's business owners or consumers, whoever you're selling to, the more offers you make with your work ethic, the more money, ultimately the more output that you're gonna get. And then the last one is the skill/talent, right? So you can also get better at closing. You can become more persuasive. You can work on yourself in that area. And so that would make it so that back when I did get better at the door-to-door sales, I've gotten infinitely better at the lead generation game, talking to business owners. And ultimately what that's allowed me to do is now I can talk to fewer people in order to get the sale. So back when I was doing door-to-door, when originally it took me 25 people to talk to and I would make 1 sale, then it got down to 15 and then 12 and so on and so forth. So the better I got on the skill and the talent, I was able to sell more people and thus, reducing the amount of, doors I had to knock and really, really grind it out, right? Because it's tough. I mean, you get halfway through the summer, super difficult to keep it going. So you need to work on yourself. And so the reason why it's important to track these numbers is because you need to know at any given point what you need to be working on. For anybody who has seen my training on the success triangle, if you remember, I'll just draw it out right here. You've got the success triangle, right? You've got beliefs, you've got actions, and then you've got the tactics and the strategies, right? So for example, the skill and the talent, if you need to get better at that, you need better tactics and strategies, right? And if you want, if you need to work harder, if you need more input, you need to work on the actions, right? And if you have any issues with your belief system going on, more than likely you are undercharging for the services that you're providing. You feel like, oh, I'm not worth it. The service that I'm providing isn't worth that much to charge. So the moral of the story is, like, if you don't know your numbers, you don't know which area of the success triangle that you need to improve upon, right? So it's not just only do you have that part of the triangle, but then which part needs the most tweaking at any given moment, right? So the moral of the story is, if you're in business, if you are running some sort of a side business or whatever it may be, you have to absolutely track your numbers. Start tracking everything right away. Open up a spreadsheet, Google Sheets, whatever, and start tracking how many people are you talking to every day, how many offers are you making every day, and how many deals are you closing every day. Track that for 30 days and get your baseline stats, and then start working backwards based off of your goals. So if your goal is to make $3,000 a month in MRR, now you know how to do the reverse math like I just showed you. Or if your goal is to make 5,000 or 10,000 or whatever it may be, if you start hiring a sales team, then you start setting goals for them, right? Which is something we're doing right now. And so we're going through this whole process, but we have our baseline stats. And so we're able to make those decisions. And ultimately we know exactly where our company's going, how much money we can expect to make, how much our sales reps can expect to make, and so on and so forth. I promise you guys, this is going to make your life so much easier as a business owner, as a side hustler, whatever it is that you're doing, in order to have more peace at the end of the night when your head hits the pillow, that you know that you're hitting your goals because you know that you're doing the right work, you've got the right beliefs, you're charging the right prices, and you're ultimately working on your skill level to reduce the amount of people you have to talk to in order to make a sale. So I hope you guys can implement this in your business. I promise you it's very well worth the time. This is one of the biggest areas I see in my students where, or even other programs that I've bought over time, where I see the successful students versus the non-successful students. And this is one of the slight edges that the successful people have, is that they track the data and they know how to make data-driven decisions as opposed to emotionally driven decisions. And when you can use that data, you are gonna win every single time. So I hope you guys like this video. If you guys wanna see the video, click somewhere around the screen on the success triangle. I go a little bit more in depth on why it's important to do that and to have all three parts of the success triangle. With that, I'll see you guys in the next video.